and welcome to another semester. So I thought I'd just make a short video walking through the website. They recently remodeled everything, so hopefully you like the new look. We're going to start by coming up to the very top, and they've kind of hidden this. Go to My Lone Star, and if you're unable to sign in here, and hopefully D2L will be up and working through most of the semester. That's always, you'll have a whole week to get through this stuff, and so there should be plenty of time to get logged in. Let me know if you do have problems logging in. So you're going to go ahead and get over to your classes, and you should hopefully have a tile with Engineering 2302 Dynamics. So go ahead and click on that. That'll bring you into the class. There's a news feed. You can always get back to that news feed by just clicking on the class name right up here at the top. And this is going to have the schedule. So as we go from chapter to chapter, I'll have what we're going through that day on here. For the very first week, there's a bunch of just kind of information. So here's my email. Use your D2L email rather than Gmail or Yahoo or something, and this will actually link your name to the section you're in so that you won't get lost. A lot of times if it's not a Lone Star email, it'll get sent to spam folder. So if you send something over and don't get a reply, send it again. It could have gotten lost in the internet. Here's my number. So if you want to text me, just take a picture of where you're getting stuck. That's completely fine, and I can text you back with some hints to help you get going there. Here is if you have trouble with D2L. So we have an IT department, and they will be able to get your password going, or if you're locked out. If you don't go all the way through a quiz, it'll lock you out of everything. So just bug them if you're having trouble. This is information on just how the online courses are set up, some more support links. This is, OTS actually has some good resources. So like you can get Office for free and a few other resources there. And if all else fails, there's a phone number. You can call them with their phone number. Tutoring. So tutoring centers are very familiar with D2L. If you haven't used it before, just walk into a tutoring center. They can walk you through it. There's a Kingwood Tutoring Center. So just lots of links to supports. The library. We're trying to get all of the course textbooks for free in the library for you guys, which is a great, great resource. As is, you should be able to find the book for this class. Any edition is fine. Okay, the laws of physics have not changed since the times of Sir Isaac Newton. You shouldn't have to get a new edition. There's no new information there. So just find a good book. Sometimes it's nice to have a book instead of an ebook. Sit down on the couch with a piece of paper. And so anyways, find the best deal you can on the book, and then everything else is provided for free for you. So you don't have to buy any, online systems for this class or anything. Okay, we've got course information for the other things. So if you're still trying to take some classes over the fall or something, there's some advisor info down here. Talk with Nicole, and she'll walk you through transfer agreements and what you need for what program you're trying to get into. This little guy here, so if you get your cell phone out, and this is the message you're going to type in to that number, and Nicole will send out everything from, oh, it's W Day is coming up, or there's free ice cream at Wendy's today, or there's scholarships going on. When we have events over the summer, she'll email info out about that. So if you want to get on our text message Remind 101 group, there you go. This is Society of Math and Engineering, and we've got physics with us now too, so have to add a P to that. Okay, a few things. I will give you events extra credit points if you go do something fun and engineering related over the summer. Some possibilities are like just go to the museum, go to the observatory. This is a fun event coming up on June 4th on Friday. And if you're not in the Houston area, that's fine too. So any engineering event counts, whether it's a university open house, a guest lecture, career fairs work, and all you have to do is just take a selfie of yourself attending the event. And this is going to be the first assignment folder, is where you can turn in and show what kind of extracurricular activities you went to. If you are in the area, we're going to be having our summer field day happening the 22nd to 23rd. Ham radio fun, so this is a neat thing to do. And here's a few other things. So free times at the museum, there's a boat tour if you haven't been around the Houston Harbor, waterworks, museums. Okay, so there's tutoring, lots of links and info in the news feed for you there. Up above the top, so content. This is where all of your notes and homework and links to everything are. You can then get into your gradebook. Check your grades often. So I will start putting zeros in if you are not getting stuff turned in. So if you see any zeros, that 0 is not permanent. Get in there and fix it. Make sure you get rid of all of those zeros. Oh, slow internet. Yeah, so this will have everything on there. Some things are a bonus. There's so many of you in this class this time around, and I'm trying to animate most of the grading process so that the only thing that I'm going to be grading by hand will be your modified problems, and there's information in there in the content. So the part of the homework where it's not just cookie cutter and do some standard problem out of the book, but I'm going to have everybody do a modified problem where you get creative and apply the material to something that would be of interest to you. And then I'm going to actually use the best modified problems on the test and have you turn those in to our class discussion area. Okay, so content, welcome. There's the schedule for you guys. There's syllabus and everything you need there. I guess I should switch this to a student view, huh? So we've got your syllabus and schedule. Just keep coming back to welcome if you forget where we're supposed to be doing. And then each week a new unit is going to apply. So statics review, this is a bonus unit, and you might want to wait until you get into chapter 12 for this. Chapter 12 is going to feel like statics again. So that is where we'll do kinetics, and the forces don't add to 0 anymore. Whatever doesn't balance, that's which way it's going. But so yeah, do the statics review to get used to vectors, and this is good review for your FE exam too. So here's a nice video series walking you through some things to get to if you're headed over there, which that's civil engineers have to take their FE, get their PE. That's really important for civils. Mechanicals, not quite as important, but it kind of it depends on where you're going to school. So some universities, taking that exam at the end of your degree is how they get their program accredited. So there's some how statics relates to dynamics. So everything we did in statics with vectors and forces adding up, we're going to be drawing free body diagrams and adding forces together just like we did before, only they don't add to 0 anymore. And whatever's not balanced, that's which way it's moving. We'll start with forces, move on to moments. So it's good to go through. There's a whole series of mechanics classes. So statics, dynamics, mechanics of materials, fluid dynamics, those are all mechanics. Just like there's Cal 1, 2, 3, there's mechanics 1, 2, 3. And one builds on the other. So that'll be good. But this is extra credit, due dates, the end of the semester, check it over. But don't stress over getting every single problem in there right, because it's a bonus thing. So chapter 11, this is where dynamics starts, and we've got homework outlined here. We've got videos. This first chunk of links heads to videos that I've made. MIT has some really nice videos out. If you find another series of videos that's good for dynamics, please post that resource in the discussion forum. I'll give you participation points for that. So whatever awesome resources you find online, share with everybody else in class. Here's Texas Tech started a video series. Unfortunately, they did not finish that class, but the first few videos are pretty good. And Khan Academy, anything for physics relates to dynamics too. So there's a lot of good physics YouTubes out there. We'll also play around with some of these open source simulations. So instead of just having, a stagnant problem in a book, you can actually animate the motion, and this will let you try and hit targets, show you velocity. So there's a bunch of different PhET simulations we'll play around with. Okay, so videos, there's an equation sheet. Chapter 11 is probably the longest chapter in the book, and this is kind of a painful way to start this class out, but that's why we're only doing one chapter this week, and all the other weeks will be 2 chapters, just because this chapter is so long. One thing, so I will be using some math software in the notes. You do not have to use Mathematica, okay? You do not have to use Matlab. You can work through everything by hand if you want to. It's painful to do it by hand, but if that's what's going to work for you, sometimes that helps get it in your long-term memory. So however you want to solve it is fine. I don't want to turn this into a programming class. I don't want it to be so. But if you are familiar with some kind of math software, use what you already know. I'll let you use the software on the test. So whatever, if it's Matlab or Octave or Wolfram, whatever software you use, the only thing for the test, and I'll have a Dropbox folder, most of those software you can save it as a PDF. So just save your work as a PDF, throw it into the Dropbox folder, and you're good to go. But it'll be a lot faster for you if you use some kind of software. So this goes through some of the different options for just some online sites. Desmos is awesome for graphing. You're going to need something good to graph things out. And I think most people have used the online Wolfram Alpha site. So there's 15-day trial. You can play the game where you change your emails around to avoid having to pay the $10 a month or whatever. If you do want to actually download it, make sure you get those deals for students. So it's a lot cheaper if you're a student than general population. So go to the student links. There's tutorials on there. Here's some other free sources that do, just calculus. Again, I don't want to make this a math class. I don't want to make it a programming class. It's dynamics. So whatever is going to work easiest for you to crank through the math, use it. There's some Matlab. Octave is the free open source version of Matlab, so very similar. Matlab is more of a programming language than Mathematica. So if you haven't used it before, it might be more of a headache to jump into that one. If you want to go from scratch, Mathematica is going to be the most user-friendly software out there. So it has a great help section. You just copy and paste out of the examples, and it can get you started pretty quickly. So use one of those. So here we have everything underneath content. So we've zoomed down all the way to the end, and there's all these attachments at the end. What you have, notes, an equation sheet. Make your own equation sheet. It helps you get everything in your mind, but I'll let you use an 8.5 by 11 on the test too. So as you work through homework, organize an equation sheet for yourself. The homework, so a couple different parts to the homework. You're going to go through some problems that are very similar to what are in the book. For these ones, you will actually work through that homework as a quiz. So rather than turning in your work, you're just going to click in the quiz that you got the answer. The one thing you are going to turn in is your modified problem. And there is an example modified problem in here. I have it as a notebook, which is created in Mathematica, and also as a PDF that everybody can open up. So here is like an example problem that came straight out of the book. But what we're going to do is we're going to modify that. So we can change a number around. That's not a very exciting modification. So what you really want to do is think through where that equation came from. Okay, make a better design. So you guys are going to be engineers, not technicians. Engineer has to look at energy efficiency and redesign things and think about how can I make this stronger and faster and better. So take whatever problem it is, solve from some different scenarios. So in this case, we're looking at some drag coefficients, and what if we change the type of paint or the surface finish? How how much faster can we go? And so to discuss, where did that equation come from? Acceleration is a function of velocity. This is a drag equation. And think through some more of the design implications of it. So for your modified problem, and it doesn't have to be out of the book, so it could be something that you're personally interested in, but just relevant to the material that was covered in that chapter. So you're going to put together your problem statement, how you've changed it. You will also include your solution for the problem. And then to turn your modified problems in, you're going to actually go to collaboration, discussions. And this is where you will turn your modified problems in. So each chapter has a discussion forum. Read the instructions on here. So you're going to start by just clicking on chapter 11, start a new thread, and this is where you will post your problem. So this will be modified problem for chapter 11, right? And you can add attachments. So if you've created this as a PDF, that's going to be the best way to go. So you're going to start a thread. So that's part one. The next thing you're going to do is open up somebody else's modified problem, solve it, see if you agree with their solution, and you just have to do this for one other modified problem. So you're going to post your own problem, solve somebody else's. And then at the end of this, so I will go through all of these modified problems, and the best ones I will use on the test. And maybe I shouldn't say best ones. The problems that would be good for a test problem. And these aren't take-home tests. They have to be proctored. So I will choose something that's doable in the time frame we have for the test. You can't have like a 10-hour long test, so not too crazy complicated, but something that just showcases the material and applies it to something unique and fun and interesting. Okay, so hopefully that'll allow you to take the material out of the book, do something creative with it, have a little bit of fun with it, and then see what other people are doing too. So we're not just copying answers out of Chegg or something. Okay, so that is going to be your homework. So there's a few problems out of the book that you'll solve, and then just go through this quiz. Okay, so you see how I got there? Course activities, quizzes. There are homework problems, and then there's also some concept quizzes. So homework goes to your homework grade, and for 6 weeks we don't have a lot of time, so I only have 2 tests, midterm and final. And the other chunk of kind of your test grade is going to come from cranking through these quizzes. Unlimited tries, so no stressing. The more times you go through each of these quizzes, the better it's going to be in your long-term memory. But do try and understand the material. Don't just do this as a process of elimination. Go through and understand where those answers are coming from. So the quizzes are broken up into the subject areas that are in the book. Each quiz is paired with a PowerPoint that takes you through question by question, and some of these kind of are progressive. So the first few questions you're given a lot of hints and a lot of help with, and then by the end of the quiz you should be able to get through this material on your own. But again, unlimited tries, so keep going through it. There's due dates on all of these, and again, 6 weeks is going to go really fast. So don't wait till the night before. You should be putting in 3 or 4 hours a day. That sounds painful, but that's what it's going to take to really get solid on this material. So don't wait till the last minute to get. So Monday do 11.1, Tuesday 11.2, Wednesday 11.3, Thursday 11.4, and then Friday hit the homework, and by Saturday you can put your mod prob in or something. But you should be cranking through one of these a day through the week, and that's how all of the content will be set up, so that there's a chunk of material to get through each day, and really try and cramming. You're paying to get an education, to get your brain to work, not to just copy stuff. That's not going to help you. So put together a schedule for yourself. Make sure you're spending the time that's needed for this. So 3 credit hour class, 48 contact hours, and it's supposed to be 2 to 3 hours outside of class for every hour of lecture. So you watch an hour of videos, and then you spend another 2 hours working through quizzes and homework problems, so where you're applying what you learned in the videos. Okay, so videos, and we've got the quizzes down here, and again, each quiz is paired with a PowerPoint. So here's the PowerPoint presentation that goes with this quiz. There's a PowerPoint presentation that goes with this quiz. So if you have 2 monitors, or you can tile your screen left and right, have the PowerPoint up on half of your screen while you're going through the quiz on the other half of your screen. And don't wait till the last minute to start this. So start cranking through this early. Let's see, so that's content is where we're in right now. Grades, check your grades. Course activities. The quizzes are in course activities, and they're also linked underneath the content hour. It's the same thing in either place. It's just 2 different ways to get to the same thing. The assignments, so the only thing I'll use the assignment folders for are the tests. So here's your midterm, your final exam, and then this is your events. So if you go to the museum or something, take a selfie, this is where you turn that in. But your modified problems, you're not turning into the assignment Dropbox. Modified problems will be a discussion forum topic. So come in, introduce yourself. I think we're going to have some students from kind of all over. So Texas Tech, Lamar, Tyler. So introduce yourself, and here is the incentive for working in a study group. So if there's a bunch of people from Texas Tech who wants to get together and work together on homework, that makes it a lot more fun than just, working on your own. And that's fine to work on your own, but if you are able to get a group together, and it has to be a face-to-face group. So I want a picture showing everybody who worked together. But if you can get together and work together, I will let you turn in the same modified problems. But you have to turn in your problem along with a picture showing that you're actually working together with those other people from class. So introduce yourself. What university are you going to? What awesome internship are you going to? What scholarship did you find? Do some networking with one another. So a lot of people in class, you might see them after this class. That could be your future coworker, so you never know. Introduce yourself. Form some study groups if you can. Find a time that's good to get together and meet, some library or Starbucks or something. And then also resources. So any fun events going on. So, the museum's having this thing, or there's this guest lecture that's happening. Post events, and I'll give you participation bonus points for doing this. And also resources. So if you find a really cool series of YouTubes that goes through dynamics lectures that I don't have linked to yet, post that. Let everybody else see those neat resources too. So anything relevant that you find, go ahead and post in here and play around in the discussion forum. Okay, so this week we're just doing chapter 11, and that will let you get used to everything here in D2L, and log in early, log in often. So at the end of this thing for participation points, I'm going to come over here and look at class progress, and this will tell me how many times you logged in, how much of the content you opened up and used. And you're not going to be able to get through this stuff if you're not logging in every day, spending time every day watching videos. So set up a schedule for yourself. And this one, so we'll have the homework, concept D2L quizzes, midterm, and final. Before each of the tests, I will give you a practice test. Okay, so we'll have an entire week here where you will go through a practice test, so you'll see what format is, and the practice will be very similar, not the same as, but very similar to what the midterm is. So if you can get through the practice test, you'll be able to get through the midterm. And for this one, if you totally mess up the midterm, I will have another makeup test for you. So hopefully that will lower the stress of taking that test and say, okay, if I mess up the first time around, I can retake a different version of it and get my grade back up. So we'll have a whole week dedicated to that. the end of the semester, there's not quite as much time to do a makeup, but hopefully you'll have gone through and earned some bonus extra credit points, so you don't have to worry about it quite as much. And same thing for the final exam. I will give you a practice test before that, so you will know exactly what problems to study. You will know exactly what the format is, so you will know going into that test what to expect beforehand. Okay, so we'll be cranking through first particles, so not worrying about rotational motion, and then we will add moments and moment of inertia to it. And we'll the second half of the semester is almost a repeat of the first half of the semester with the addition of rotational motion. So kinematics, kinematics, forces, forces, energy, energy. It's a repeat, but it's a repeat with the added rotational motion. So if you can get through and get very solid on this first chunk, we'll be able to crank through the second part as well. Okay, hopefully that wasn't too confusing. Again, use all of those VTAC sources if you get stuck and aren't able to sign in or something, and let us know as soon as possible if you're having trouble signing into this website, because we really want to get you online and working as soon as possible. And I'd really prefer face-to-face classes. I'd prefer seeing you in the room with me, so hopefully we can make this online thing work. Really, don't hesitate to reach out. Send me an email, text me, call me, let me know where you're getting stuck, and don't hesitate to do that. So do that quickly so we can take care of problem area, because 6 weeks is going to go really fast for this class. So hopefully that'll work for you guys. And then I will also be in the Kingwood campus, Classroom Building B, CLB, room 113. I'll either be in 113 or 114 across the hallway. If you are in the Houston area and want to come by, I'll have an open computer lab there on Tuesday, Thursday night starting at 6 p.m. So come on over to the classroom if you want to kind of hang out, and we can go through whatever problems you want to go through during that time. Or if you're not in the Houston area, then use your phone. So call me, text me, email me. Texting is going to be the fastest way to get a hold of me, and hopefully we can have some fun with it. I like dynamics. It's actually it's like solving puzzles, and hopefully with the modified problems you can find some neat applications for this we'll do orbital mechanics, and we've done ballistics in the past, and some really cool modified problems that people have come up with. So I'm excited to see what you guys come up with this semester too. So okay, that's it. We'll see you on some other videos too. Thanks so much for watching all the way to the end.